welcome to this week's news update. I've picked the most important highlights you should know, quick, clear and straight to the point. This is Marcela Tomčíková and Praha TV Weekly News. Let's jump in. A unique structure, great attention from Prague residents and authorities. The railway bridge on Výtoň is in poor technical condition and continues to limit train traffic in the center of Prague. Until a final decision is made on the future fate of this structure, the railway administration is preparing a temporary bridge to ensure the operation of the line. Both the reconstruction of the existing bridge and the construction of a completely new one remain in play.
The situation around the railway bridge at Výtoň remains tense. The structure is in poor technical condition and has been restricting rail traffic for a long time. The railway administration is thus preparing a temporary fix designed to secure the line's operational capability while the whole matter is being sorted out.
This current situation is not good. We monitor bridge conditions with the Czech Association of Civil Engineers, and you know that we are running on just one track at 20 kilometers per hour. What I can tell you right now is that we are working very intensely on preparing the temporary bridge structure so that we will have it ready no later than in the year 2028. And currently, we are intensely discussing not only with the Ministry of Transport, but also with the Ministry of Culture, which of these options it will be. I believe the railway administration prefers a new bridge, mainly for technical reasons, but also from the perspective of connecting to the urban infrastructure and further suburban connections.
I don't mind it much, and it should certainly be repaired.
Yes, it will get fixed.
I wouldn't choose a different approach. It ought to be repaired somehow.
I am a 1962 model, and I remember the old regime. Every year it was painted gray, red lead on the bridges. After '89, the regime got fed up with everything, and then it showed, even though it is a protected monument.
Yes, I hear that in my view. So,
Do you like the old bridge?
Not much.
why so?
It's old.
That you would welcome a new one?
I guess so. Well, I don't even know if the reconstruction will be good. Reconstructions have happened here before. It was always terrible. But thank God that they decided this way.
So you are for keeping the old one?
Preserving it, I think it could be done without reconstruction routing trains elsewhere.
The railway administration says partial bridge repair would fundamentally restrict traffic. Maintaining operation requires preparing a complete temporary bridge structure to temporarily take over the existing function. The railway administration also plans to open a debate on the final solution. Last fall, the Minister of Transport, Martin Kupka, decided to reconstruct the bridge instead of building a new one. Dismantling the existing bridge and starting the temporary construction is expected in the summer of 2028. However, the structure will first undergo reinforcement so that it can endure until that time.
From a parameter standpoint, building a new bridge is clearly advantageous. However, there is also the issue related to the Ministry of Culture, and we will continue to debate very intensely there about whether this is a fixed decision or if it can still be changed. These debates must conclude very rapidly so that we can move forward as soon as possible to implementing one of the solutions.
The final outcome for the Výtoň bridge will thus probably be determined this year. What is certain, however, is that without a temporary crossing, rail transport in this part of Prague will not manage in the coming years.
Encryption machines, secret projects and technologies that changed history. The National Technical Museum offers the exhibition Enigma and Other Secret Projects. It uniquely introduces visitors to the world of classified communication, as well as intelligence technology or the development of cryptography from the 19th century to World War II.
The exhibition Enigma and Other Secret Projects can be seen at the National Technical Museum, presenting historical milestones in the fields of encryption, communication, and secret operations. Visitors here have the opportunity to look into the world of cryptography and the technology that played a key role in military conflicts.
The exhibition we have here was borrowed from the Slovak Technical Museum, where it was located a couple of years ago. Afterward, it relocated to the Brno Technical Museum, and now it is finally here. We have augmented it with numerous exhibits, and partially with our own supplement. That pertains to certain classified projects. Historically.
The display covers encryption and the wider context of secret comms and tech development.
Enigma as such is actually an encryption machine from the period of the Second World War. It was invented before the war, but the Germans utilized it for encrypting messages of a military nature. We will see other cipher machines here too. You can try out historical encryption techniques on these consoles here, so it is fun for children too.
The exhibition shows what an important role technology played in acquiring and protecting information, from the first mechanical devices to the sophisticated instruments of the 20th century.
We will see photographic technology here from the past, from the end of the 19th century to about the middle of the 20th century. There are hidden cameras that might seem a bit comical today, because they are quite large despite everything. Today a camera fits anywhere. We all have one in our phones. But you can examine photographic technology that used film or glass plates. We have aerial cameras still used today, but digitally. Here we have the analog ones. We have communication technology here, telephone exchanges. We have teleprinters here. You can try out Morse code on the ABCDU telegraph machine here.
The exhibit offers historical items and interactive parts, which allow visitors to understand the principles of secret communication and technological development during periods of major historical events.
In our new report, we stay on the topic of World War II. Let's take a look at how Prague too commemorated the tragic Ash Wednesday of 1945. The Allied bombing, which was supposed to hit the German city of Dresden, fell on Prague due to a navigation error. Over 700 people died and almost 1,200 were injured. Many lives and premises were severely affected.
In Prague too, they commemorated one of the most tragic events of the end of the Second World War again. In February 1945, bombs that were originally intended for Dresden fell on the city. That tragic mistake claimed hundreds of human lives and most severely affected the Vinohrady area. The second city district regularly remembers this event by the memorial plaque on the General University Hospital building. This year, however, they introduced a new project titled The Story of Prague II. The Vanished Faces of the Municipal District, which utilizes genuine burnt beams discovered during the hospital building's renovation.
An intelligent man previously stated that anyone who fails to recall history and events is doomed to experience them again. Hopefully, this event cannot be relived. I truly hope that. However, I believe it is essential for newer generations to recall this, so they also understand they must do everything to ensure it never recurs. I am very satisfied because when we received the news that several charred beams from the reconstruction of the former Jesuit college were lying at the landfill, we immediately proceeded to the location, and things started happening. Today's outcome is the unveiling of 3 spots featuring authentic charred beams. The 5th is in the Novomiestska Town Hall, 1 is in the Faust House, and 1 is in the corridor of the internal clinic of the former Jesuit college.
Generally, the issue of the Protectorate is returning to us now after more than 80 years in remembrances, considering what is happening in Europe now. Therefore, the stories, the human narratives, which are presented based on these very significant events, are, in my view, and as a historian of the Protectorate, extremely significant.
The February 1945 mistake hit hundreds of families and changed the district. Fewer direct witnesses remain today, which is why it is crucial to keep remembering their stories. The new project of Prague II is not just a remembrance of the past, but also a silent thank you to those who lost their lives back then. And a commitment that their fates will not disappear from the memory of future generations.
The petition Let's Protect the Prague Night brought more than 10,000 signatures to the Prague City Council meeting. Its authors criticized the replacement of orange lamps with white LED lighting, pointing out the possible health and ecological impact. The city administration does not want to stop the modernization, but proposes the establishment of a lighting ombudsman who would deal with specific complaints from residents.
Prague representatives addressed the petition Save Prague Night, which was signed by more than 10,000 people. Signatories are criticizing the continuous exchange of the orange sodium lamps for the white LED illumination, drawing attention to potential effects on both health and the natural environment.
Not solving intensity of illumination, not solving shining into windows or into the eyes. It is confirmed that white LED lighting is physically unpleasant.
We certainly never take the concerns of Prague residents lightly, with the seriousness they deserve. At the same time, I must certainly state that some of those positions in that petition sadden me, and I do not consider it realistic to stop the modernization of Prague's public lighting, because some Prague public lighting is over 50 years old and is truly expiring. At the same time, of course, we install modern lighting where there are coordinations with new constructions, with new bridges, with new transport routes. So to interrupt this and risk that a part of Prague will actually go dark, I do not consider that possible.
The city rejects stopping modernization but suggests partial changes and stronger control over resident input.
What I propose is primarily that we want to introduce the institution of a so-called lighting ombudsman for Prague, a person to handle individual complaints which are verified by Prague's technology. For me to state that everything is truly in compliance with the standard, but life is more complex than the standards are. It doesn't always fit, and we must address situations that simply fall outside the norms.
According to the Metropolis leadership's ideas, the institution of a lighting ombudsman could be established relatively quickly. The debate concerning the form of public lighting and its specific parameters is scheduled to proceed in the City Council over the next several months.
In case you want to be inspired by traditional Czech celebration, full of good food, dancing and various costumes, so-called masopust, is the answer. The Prague 10 district held the traditional event Masopust on Desítka. Svatopluk Czech Square was filled with dozens of masks, music and good spirits, and residents remembered folk traditions associated with the end of winter.
It was bustling in Svatopluk Czech Square in Vršovice. The carnival celebrations attracted all generations, and some arrived in original costumes. Traditional figures and musical accompaniment were not missing.
It is the Vršovice Carnival. It is an event that is my most beloved because it always kicks off the cultural season in the 10th district. We initiated this event 3 years ago with the inaugural year, and it became incredibly popular. I'm overjoyed, like an American, at how much it connects with the local community. For Vršovice residents, and now people from the whole 10th district and other parts, it's become a real name.
The 10th City District organized the whole event in collaboration with the Vzlet Cultural Center. At the location, there were stands offering Shrovetide snacks, where attendees had the opportunity to purchase liverwurst, blood sausage, or barley soup made from the pig slaughter. There were also workshops available for children where they could create their own masks.
Whoever makes one, it's mainly up to them. But this year we did it so that the workshops were already held during the week before the carnival in various parts of the 10th district. So a lot of children and parents were already able to create their masks during that week, but naturally, many people are still finishing theirs here. So we simply wanted to provide the space and the time so that everyone could prepare for it.
I am dressed as a wolf and I crafted the costume myself. For about an hour at one club meeting.
And I am primarily a dead bride, or perhaps it's not quite that. I am a dead bride.
Well, I am the groom here next to the bride, and the costumes were created by my future wife so that we match.
I am a panda, and my mom mostly thought of that. The afternoon belonged to the masks, but also to the subsequent procession through Vršovice. The participants of the event thus symbolically said goodbye to winter.
The route will begin at Česká Square, proceed along Moskva Street, reach the Vršovice Chateau, where it will turn around, then head back past Vzlet. And in the evening, there is an after-party at Vzlet, where the entire day's events will conclude.
The 10th District Carnival again linked history and modern culture and confirmed that traditional customs still hold relevance even in the present day.
And at the end, some inspiration. Winter offers a completely different view of some animals, even though a lot of people go to the zoo in the spring months. There are quite a lot of animals that enjoy even this weather. For example, the ungulates. They are accustomed to the cold climate in their homeland. It's during the winter months that you can best see how they are able to naturally prepare for low temperatures.
In the upper area of Prague Zoo, visitors can see cold-loving ungulates during winter. Bison, camels, Przewalski's horses, reindeer and kiangs originate from regions where low temperatures are a regular feature of the year, meaning winter poses no issue for them.
I always definitely recommend the winter coat of camels, because camels, due to living in deserts where there is huge heat in the summer, you see in the summer, they are almost bare, and for the winter they put on really very thick and long fur, which is colored differently on the various animals. We have the female camel Sophie here, who is the color of dark chocolate. We also have lighter animals, such as the 3-year-old male or female Morgan. So they definitely play with all shades of brown, and the fur is very long, and one can easily imagine the insulating properties right there.
However, the winter coat is not just a matter of hair length. The animals gradually prepare for the cold during the autumn.
To picture. With Przewalski's horses, we are used to seeing them in summer with very short coats, like our warm-blooded horses. But during early autumn, they very rapidly grow into that winter coat, which can actually reach a length of 6 to 7 centimeters. The longest fur is typically found on the underside of the lower jaw, making them truly resemble little bears. In addition to their coat, they also prepare for winter by building up large fat reserves, so that elegant wild horse, which you are able to observe in the summer, becomes somewhat round and furry in the winter. Pony. Reindeer actually dress in a longer coat in the winter. We can observe, particularly on the darker animals within the herd, that primarily in winter they grow a long, I would say, a mane on the neck made of light hairs, and they get much lighter. And then in the spring, they look very ragged again as they gradually lose that coat. But right now, they are actually in their best winter coat.
A winter visit to the zoo thus offers a unique opportunity to see the animals in a form in which they are perfectly adapted to their natural environment. And that is one of the reasons why one should make the trip to Prague Zoo even outside of the main season.
That's it for this week's update. Thanks for tuning in. If you found it helpful, feel free to share it through our website Praha TV and let me know what you would like to be covered next time. See you next week.